Hello, in this video I'm going to show you spreadsheets again, and I'm going to start off talking about doubles. Now, I didn't show you the Tor doubles, but I did show you Tor double 0, and that is the November 85 reprint, not the original, that is sometimes considered to be Tor double 0. Now, Tor doubles are well documented, so I'm not going to talk about them in detail. This is a spreadsheet showing the Tor doubles. If at any point you want to pause the video, you should then be able to make notes of any information that you want. So that's the first page on Tor doubles. Paging down, there are the rest of the Tor doubles. I'm not certain why. I assume that was March 91, but I don't think I've ever come across a date to confirm that. Carrying on down, we've got the Belmont doubles, and I've put the two Flamingo editions in, the two UK editions that are copies of the American editions. I don't actually have that one, but I think I have all the others in that series. And then at the bottom of the screen there are the Dell binary stars that I showed you. I compiled these lists several years ago, so for some reason I didn't bother putting dates in on everything. I haven't bothered recording the artists, though I have on some sheets but not on this one. Carrying on, here are some of the other doubles I've shown you in my series of short videos, the door doubles. These are the only two yellow spine ones that I'm aware of. There may be omnibus type editions, or there are omnibus editions later on, but I haven't shown those to you, and I haven't kept a record of them. Here are the Signet doubles, of which I don't have very many. There is the Bart triplet that I showed you, and here are the Gollancz doubles. They're not numbered, so I put my own notation in there, A, B and C. And then the two Millennium doubles. And at the bottom is the Vega double, the Hans Prayer double. The three Galaxy Mega books, as far as I know there are only three. A Mana double and a Nell double. I believe there's at least one more Nell double, but I haven't noted it on this list. So that covers all the doubles that I showed you, apart from the ace doubles. Now, if you see, I've got lots of sheets on this spreadsheet, so I shall go to ace doubles. And here are the ace doubles, or at least some of them that I showed you, and the ones that I'm missing I talked about. So these are the ones that are not considered to be the classic ace doubles series, but later doubles that I've become aware of and noted down. And those are the remaining ones. As you can see, some were reprinted several times. This one at the bottom I did see on a published ace doubles list, but I've never seen any evidence that it exists. So if someone can give me firm information on that, I'd be quite happy to modify my list. What I will do, for those that are interested, I have also recorded all of the ace doubles. So if you want to freeze the screen and make a note of any, for some reason I put in the first one, which is nothing to do with SF. D13 just has the one SF story, the Drachman story, Cry Plague. And D13 was the one where there is an English version which has the Drachman story paired with another totally different story. When I collected the Ace Doubles, I also put in or collected the 2 Robert Bloch doubles. This one just has one Robert Bloch story. It's not SF, it's horror, but I thought I would collect. So I'm going to page down and give you a chance to pause each time. So here's the next lot. And the next lot. And the next lot. And the next lot. And the next. And the next. And the next. This is where we've got onto the numbered doubles. I have put a column in, and I'm trying to remember what I did. I think one column was the original appearance of the story, and the other column was the first appearance of the pair as a double. I won't swear to that. It's a long time since I did this list, but that is the purpose of these 2 columns. What I also did is put lots of columns in so I could put some information on grading, so I could grade not just the book overall, which was this column, but I could grade each half. So if one cover was creased and one was perfect, I could differentiate. And I put a whole load of fault issues that go wrong. And I basically had a system where I used to use 1 for fine or mint, down to about 5 or 6 for quite bad. So I used to cover things like the pages, the colour, spine ends, spine roll, spine creases, how tight it was, how tanned it was, any edge wear. I think that was spine creases, cover creases. I didn't actually get around to using this for the Ace Doubles. I did a few and decided to give up. And then I had a formula that would sort of help me judge whether my overall condition was correct. I'll show you more when I come to the, if I show you the doors. So I don't know whether you're going to be interested in seeing all the sheets, but I've shown you the ones that relate to my doubles presentation. There are more of the doubles. That's it. And then at the bottom of that, I've got the ones that are not considered to be part of the original Ace Doubles series. What I will show you is this. I also did a lookup from this chart to the detailed listing so that I could know the grade of all of my books. So this would link back to the overall grade, and I put in some totals so I could know by each letter series or the numbered series how many there were, how many I had, if I was missing any, and so forth. Now I've blanked out all my personal collecting information, but that's the way I used to do it, so that if I was out hunting I would always have separate information, so I could just look it up by the appropriate letter and number rather than having to search through my main list of all the titles. And I also put in the later ones here. So that's it on the Ace Doubles. I did a similar exercise on Ace Singles. So again, if anyone wants to sort of take a freeze the screen and take a print, they can do. Here are the ace singles. And again, I will page through and you'll have a chance to pause if you want to check anything here. I did start to differentiate between the original smaller format, which was an A format, which I called A, and a B format, which was slightly larger, still basically an A format paperback, but slightly larger than the originals. Another page, another page, another page, another page, another page, another page. I did started to record the numeric series that followed on from the lettered series, but there were too many, so in the end I gave up. This is prior to the ISBN, when they had check digits on the end. I know this list is incomplete. Okay, that's that covered. And like I did for the ace doubles, I did a chart with a lookup to the other list so that I could see which ones I had, which ones I didn't. So I set it up so it would show a 0 if I didn't have a condition grade against a book. And I'm missing quite a lot. I've got about 70% of the ace singles, but I'm missing quite a lot still. And here you can see the ace specials. Again, I've only got a few of these. I never got around to collecting them. I wish I had, but I never got around to them. There was a list of lettered ace singles on a Wikipedia list, or wiki. I'm not quite certain what the site was now. Some of the ones I've treated as being included, they did not treat as SF. So there's just a few. So if anyone wanted to compare, there's a slight disagreement between myself and Wikipedia. Going on, I'll just show you. I put together a printing sheet, so I forget that. Carrying on, here's the other double sheet that I showed you at the start. Here are the Malian American Science Fiction editions. Stanley Pitt did all the artwork. This was a pseudonym he used on a couple. There are 41 issues of this. It was published in Australia, and they were all either 8p or 9p. Again, I had columns in, so if I wanted to, I could put information about grades. There were also 5 others published, which were called selected science fiction. So those are the ones. I'm missing number 2. So if anyone has a really nice copy that they don't want, I would be interested. And I must admit my numbers 3, 4 and 5 aren't in very good condition either. So I thought I would show you that. Carrying on, I'll show you some of the other lists I've done. Here are the door lists. This is the door number, the date they were issued. I started off with the ones that weren't numbered. So that's imaginary sex, or imaginative sex, sorry. Ghost Dance, and then the Captain Kennedy books. Again, I had a system where I could put in the codes, and I may show you my actual spreadsheet if you're interested. So again, I will start paging down. If anyone wants to take notes, check any of this. I will mention ones like this. It had, or the one that was numbered 50 had a number 2 in the number sequence. There was no printing with a number 1, and that applies to that as well. So again, pause it if you want to sort of make a note of any detail. Again, I did this years ago. I started to put in the cover price but gave up. Right, I'll mention these. A few of the door prints were reissued with a new number. So for example, 442 did have an earlier number, but when it got to the 6th printing, they reissued it with a new number in the door sequence. And also you may note I've put in here the double, so it's in date order, but that's one of the doubles that I showed you. So I think there are about 4 where the book was reissued with a new door number. Right. Number 580 was the last of the yellow spine doors. So a lot of people just collect up to number 580, but I did carry on, and I've certainly got all up to 1,000, and most of them up to 1,500, at which point I decided to give up. If anyone wants to know, number 667 was never issued. I thought I'd just mention that. The way I manipulated my list as well, if I had a signed copy, I'd add in an extra line and add an extra digit so it wouldn't muck up the lookup that I'll show you in a little while. So sometimes I put an S on, sometimes I put an X. Carrying on. Another oddity for those who collect, the Friedman book had two different covers. One with a man on the front cover, so I labelled that M, and one with a woman on the front cover. It's the only one I know of with 2 separate covers, so I thought I would mention that. The other problem I will mention is, and I can't remember offhand where they first started, but sometimes the number on the book disagreed with perhaps the number on the hardback when that was issued, or perhaps the paperback would have two different numbers, one on the cover and a different one inside. So I've noted most of those as I go on, but as a result, I'm not convinced there is a truly correct number for everything from everything beyond 700. I will just mention that one. Door did a number of anniversary editions. So this one, I put a suffix on the end, A20, meaning it was 20th anniversary edition. I never made an effort to collect those, but if I saw a really nice copy, I did buy. I think this one may be the first one that never had, apart from the one earlier I mentioned where there was no book with a number. This one was published in hardback, so the number was allocated to the hardback, but there was never a paperback edition. So I just thought I'd mention that. As you can see, Green Angel Tower came out as part 1 and part 2, so the hardback was split into 2. See, so there's to Green Angel Tower, and there are the paperbacks where they split it into 2 because it was a massive thick book. I think on my actual list I may have made notes where I know the numbers differ between the front cover and inside, but it doesn't appear that I've done it on a lot of these. There is an example where I've left it. So the Dreaming Tree, although I've put it as number 1074, it has number 1075 on the cover, and there are a few like that. So I won't guarantee my list is absolutely correct. It has all the books, but it may occasionally differ from other published lists. When we get to these later numbers, there were 1 or 2 that were issued as trade paperbacks or hardbacks. As far as I'm aware, they weren't republished as A format paperbacks. So I started to use NYI for not yet issued. So basically, this is 2 stories put into 1 book, or maybe 3. And when they reissued, they issued as a hardback, I believe, and or a trade paperback, but they didn't issue an A format book, and I didn't go out of my way to collect the larger volume ones. And when I got to recording up to 1550, I gave up. So that is my door list, and perhaps as I did on the ace doubles, I had this system where I could have a sheet showing all the grades of my books, which helped. I did also think about, for the lower numbers, doing a separate sheet so I could separately identify how faded the spine was. I never got around to doing that, but it wouldn't be difficult to do from the information I have. So I thought I'd show you that. I will quickly, if I can find it, show you what I do on my list. So this is just, so basically I grade the colour of the book, the spine. So basically 1 means pretty much perfect, and I put a formula in to calculate a value. So that's my overall view of what the condition of my book is, and then I put a test check in, if you like, by assessing all the other elements of condition, and come up with an overall grade. And as you can see, this is my set of doors and what I feel the grade is on every one. I just thought you might be interested. So if I want to check doors, I don't have to do a lot of checking on my main list. I have a summary sheet that I can use, and I just thought I would show you that. So this is the template, if you like. So I shall carry on. I have a sheet of best ofs. These are the Valentine Del Rey. I do have the best of Lovecraft, which is a trade paperback, which I haven't added onto here yet. I also did the similar thing for Pocket best ofs. I think this is a full list. This is the one I haven't got, which is annoying. And some of these, I've either got the first printing or I've got the Timescape, or possibly both. I don't remember offhand. So basically there was a first pocket printing of all of these, but some in later printings became Timescapes. So that first pocket printing was a first Timescape printing. But this one, for example, first pocket printing wasn't a Timescape, but the second one was. I've only done it for those 2 publishers. I know there are British best ofs as well, which I've got a fair number of, but I've never added them onto this list. So I just thought I'd show you that. I then have a sheet on the VGSF Classics. So if you remember some of my very early videos, I talked about these. I never showed you them because I never made an effort to collect them. So these are the larger B formats, and these are the later A format ones. I'm not certain why, but for the VGSFs I did note the artists, or I did at least where they were stated or whether it was worth mentioning. Let's say Sirens of Titan #1 was reissued as an A format. I'm not aware of any of the other first 20 being reissued as a VGSF Classics A format style. Going on, again, this is what I showed you after I finished my series on VGSF paperbacks. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. Then I made notes of reprints. Again, as issues you sometimes have, ones that were referred to as being VGSF but were never issued as VGSF. And these were mass market after the VGSF larger trade paperback format. One or two went straight, well, sorry, two went straight to an A format as under a different imprint. So those are the two I'm aware of. The others I don't believe were ever issued in A format, but again I might be wrong. Carrying on. Just a few days ago I showed you the information on timescapes, so I'm not going to spend much time on that. The next sheet I'm going to go to is Ballantine Adult Fantasy. I've done these in date order, so if you want to take a note. I'm not certain what the definitive listing is. I still remember reading a write-up by one dealer who said only these ones where I've got a 1 are the true Ballantine Adult Fantasy. I can't remember on what basis he said that. I thought I would show you those. There were 4 that were treated as where the second printing had the unicorn and were treated as the Ballantine Adult Fantasy, but there were first printings. And I know it's a bit of a shame, the 3 Mervyn Peake ones, I ended up having a choice and I chose the first printings rather than getting the second Ballantine Adult. Did I make the right choice? I'm not sure. And then in this column, that same dealer who I mentioned for this column said how many printings there were of the books. Now, I've never checked that. I made a note of it in case I ever decided to do a bit more research, but I never got around to it. So I thought I would show you that. So that's the first, and those are the later ones. So pause the video if you want to make a note of anything. Next I'll go on to laser books, and there's the well-known series that were issued quite a few years ago, and the last 3 were issued to subscribers only from what I remember. So altogether there are 57 plus the specials, so 58. So if you want to make a note of any of those, I have got a full set of the lasers. So I shall carry on. I set up a sheet for this, but I never got around to filling it in, so Badger Books. I'm sure there are other experts who know about it, and I'll show you the Badger SF again. I never really collected. I got about 10 or 15, maybe 20. There were 2 that were called science, I think, rather than science fiction, or super science, I can't remember. 2, so they're noted there. And then there's the SF. Again, I understand number 8 was never used. So that is the 2 sheets to do with the Badger books. Next I'll show you a sheet that I put together on the Donning Starblaze books. I wouldn't worry about this. Some I put Donning, some I put Donning/Starblaze. I don't think there's any logic to that. As you can see, I didn't edit it down totally because I did have a signed copy of that. On the books, there is a number on some, not on all. I'd love to know what the complete list is. These are all numbered SB plus this number, but there was one that was labelled SS04. So what the other three are, I haven't got a clue. So if anyone has a detailed listing, I would like to know. I am missing a few. I haven't tried too hard to collect them, though I would definitely pick them up if I came across them. I have got all the Myth series by Robert Asprin, and I've got most of the ones in bold, but there are about 3 or 4 in this list, maybe more, that I haven't got. I haven't got any of these at the bottom. Going on down, there were lots. See, again, I haven't taken out my information there. Going down, there are a lot of graphic novels also published by Donning. I don't know whether they come into the SB series, the Starblaze series. These are the ones I've seen notes on. So whether they should be numbered, but as my understanding is, although I don't think I've got any of these, I don't think they have numbers on the spine, and as far as I know, don't have numbers inside. So if they were included in the numbered series, at least in the minds of the publishers, I don't think there's anything to indicate on the book itself. There are a few other graphic novels. There are a few art books. Again, I'd quite like to have all of these, but I haven't. I've got a couple. I think I've got that one. And that one. And that one. I can't remember if I've got that one, and I haven't got those. So again, I'd quite like to pick those up, but I haven't gone out of my way to look for them. So that's the information I have on Donnings. I'm afraid this is a bit of a mess because I haven't got an authoritative list to base my analysis on. Carrying on, I'll show you a few other miscellaneous sheets where I just downloaded information. So here is a list of Frankenstein books. I downloaded this from the internet in about 2010. I have no idea. As far as I know, I haven't got any of those. So if you know others or interest in Frankenstein, by all means, make notes of this list. Carrying on. This is a list of Cthulhu books. Again, something I've got 1 or 2 of, but not very many. Wasn't really my thing. So again, this was downloaded from the internet. I never really connected, but I thought it was nice to have a set of information. So if you want to make a note of anything from this list, please do. So those are the Cthulhu books. Next, I'll go on to Conan books. Again, this was downloaded from the internet, but I have made a note of the series of Sphere books, which goes up to number 31, and they are all numbered apart from and this is something I haven't been able to establish, number 18. So this was the film novelisation, Conan the Barbarian. Was this supposed to be number 18 in the series? Is there another book that has 18? I've never come across a Sphere book with an 18 on it. So that is just a guess. Orbit also did a series, but the only one I've ever picked up is this one, which was numbered number 8. And I haven't gone out of my way to look for the others or research them. So if anyone does know about that, carrying on, there are more. As I say, this list is only up to 97. I'm sure there are many more since. I will mention one other thing. Bantam did a series. So for example, that one is Bantam series number 3. Now on this list I've only noted up to number 6, and I have those 6 books. But I did see one list somewhere that showed there was number 7, which I must admit I didn't get around to updating this sheet. So again, if you want to add anything, take any information, please go ahead. Carrying on, the next sheet I've got. Again, these are the Captain Future stories. These are the paperbacks, which I have all of them. And these are other stories. I can't remember all the details on this list now. As I say, I collected the paperbacks, but I've never collected the pulps. So by all means, pause it and take notes of anything you want, but I certainly can't clarify anything on that list. Carrying on. Again, another lot of information I downloaded from the internet years ago. Dracula books. So again, if anything is of interest, please take a note. I haven't bothered to collect these, at least not the main ones. A few notes of series. I have tried to collect that, but I haven't got all of them, which is a bit annoying. I haven't collected the Kim Newman ones, although I may have 1 or 2. I have got the Robert Lorry series. I've never seen these, Chetwynd Haynes. So again, I can't say very much about those. Next, are the Perry Rhodan books. So this is based, numbers 1 to 39 are based on the English paperback, and they only printed 39. I'm assuming they're the same numbers used as the American editions, but I'm not sure, though there is quite a chance that the numbering is different to the German editions. In the UK, 39 was the last one issued in paperback. So if you want to collect these, the rest you're going to have to collect as American editions. After 109, they were printed as doubles. I didn't include these on my list of other doubles, but I've included them here under Perry Rhodan. After those, these were published as a, and I put a note at the top of the page, I think it was a master's, volumes 1 to 39 published in the UK by Futura/Orbit. Volumes 1 and 2 were published in hardback by Seven House. Volumes 1 to 118, including doubles, plus 4 Atlan doubles, and one novel, which was In the Centre of the Gravity, were published by Ace. Volumes 119 to 136 were published in pamphlet format by mail order by Masters Publications and were issued in batches of 6. The last Perry Rhodan published was volume 137, which was published with another start of another series, Starman 1 to 5. And there was and I think that, if I remember correctly, that was a trade paperback. And there was another one in the same format by Masters, carried on the Starman series, and it called it the Universe Builder, and that was numbers 6 to 11, again in a single book. And I have made a note, numbers may differ from German numbering. I don't know whether that's true. So down at the bottom here, I've gone up to 137, and I've included the Starman at the bottom there. These are the Atlan doubles, which weren't numbered in the series, and that is In the Centre of Gravity, which didn't have a number. So that's the Perry Rhodans. Doctor Who's, again, I made up this list of the Target books. I never used to go out of my way to collect them, but if I saw them really cheap, I would pick them up. So I've probably got 80 or 90% of the Target books, but not all first, quite a few reprints. So I'll page down and show you these. And I know these last 3 can be rather difficult to find. I haven't got them. I then made some notes of some other editions, role-play game books. I have odds and ends from these, so I can't talk that much about them. I haven't got a full set. As I say, I pick them up when I see them if they're nice condition and reasonably priced. But I've never tried to collect. I mean, if someone wants to correct the information that I've got, I will probably take it and update my list, but I'm not overly concerned, as I have a couple of boxes of Doctor Who books, but they've never been my main interest collecting. I did do a print to help me check if ever I was going to go out hunting for them, but to be honest, I've never bothered to use this. Another brief list I downloaded off the internet. These are game books. Can't say anything about them. I think I've got 1 or 2 at most. Next, I've got a sheet on the Galaxy and Beacon books. I have the first 35, although condition is pretty ropey on some of them. And the series was carried on, though the numbering swapped. They were carried on as Beacon paperbacks. So I've made a note of them. Again, I haven't got all the Beacons. I've never particularly gone out of my way to get them. Only a couple more sheets for those who've stuck with me all this way. These are the British Library Science Fiction Classics. And all I've put is a title. I haven't even bothered to put the author on this one. That was a rather brief effort, I would say. And the final sheet I've got is on the Venture books, Venture SF. Well, I think you've done well if you've stuck with me all the way through this. I hope you found this interesting. I did provide a copy of this spreadsheet to Jules Burt, so I've no particular objection if people want a copy. By all means, get in touch with Jules, see if he's willing to put it up on his Google Drive. I hope you've enjoyed this. As I say, I think having lists, perhaps being a completist, can add a bit of spice to collecting, make it more interesting. And I hope you've enjoyed this list. There could have been many others. I mean, I could have done the pan lozenges, I could have done other things. There are so many more lists I could have added to this, but I haven't bothered adding to this list since probably I retired in 2014. So that's it for now. I'm signing off. Bye.